Welcome to Faith FM Connects.
We live in such a fast-paced world.
My passion for this film is just to bring to life the relationship with God.
A light in the darkness.
What is being fierce-hearted for a lifetime? What does that look like?
Connecting the Christian community.
A life that was lived through a lot of hardship.
It was an extraordinary experience for me, and it transformed me.
Hit like and subscribe, and you will be notified when we add more videos.
Hey, this is Dan Bremnes, and you are listening to Faith FM.
Thanks for tuning in to 93.7 Faith FM. I'm Kyle, and I had the privilege to talk to James Faulkner, who is playing Paul in the Paul, the Apostle of Christ movie. When you hear his voice, you'll know why he's been a voice actor in some of my favorite video games. He's also been a hardened character in some of my favorite television shows and movies. So I can't play you my full interview because I totally nerded out for the first 10 minutes, but I did get around to asking James Faulkner some questions about Paul, the Apostle of Christ. So here it is. So I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about this movie, Paul the Apostle of Christ.
I can tell you quite a lot about the movie.
Okay. Well, in many of your projects, I'm not going to say you play a villain. I'm going to say you play hard-to-like characters. This role is quite different. Paul is one of the most important men in Christian history. What was it like to play him?
Well, he was very hard to like when he was Saul.
When he was Saul, yes.
When he was Saul. So, in a sense, I went out to Malta for 3 days for rehearsals and fittings, and then I went back to the south of France for 4 days to start learning the role. And a friend of mine arrived to come and stay, a casting director. And she said, you're learning lines. I said, yes, I'm learning lines. Oh, what are you going to be doing? I said, I'm going to be doing this film, Paul, the Apostle of Christ. And what are you playing? I'm playing Paul. Really? Look of utter disbelief on her face. I said, well, let's be fair here. You have to remember that he was a deeply unlikable and villainous man and the worst of all sinners until his conversion. So actually, I'm really rather well cast here.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
You have to believe that he was that man, that he could have been that tough on people, and that he's undergone this most extraordinary journey. And I loved doing it. I thought it was a wonderful script and a wonderful opportunity for an actor like myself who's so used to controlling other people, Kyle, and to imposing his will on other people. And now I'm being asked to play a man, very simple and incredibly strong faith.
So I guess the question then is, what were some of the challenges of portraying such an important historical person?
Well, it's not, if you think around it, it's very daunting. The largest cathedral in London is St. Paul's, and you are aware of just how important he is to the Christian faith and
Absolutely,
was
yeah.
the Christian faith. And I could only play what was on the page.
Mm-hmm.
But so good was the script and so true is the script that its simplicity spoke through me. I had to do very little.
Okay. I haven't seen the movie yet. It comes out on March 23rd. I'm wondering what that transition is like, going from Saul to Paul.
Well, it's always difficult, and I didn't play Saul because Saul is only 30 years old when God strikes him blind and speaks to him. Saul, why persecutest thou me? But we've made it work. I'm playing him for the last 10 days of his life. I'm of a similar age to that of Paul at the time. So I've had a long journey through life, Kyle, and in the Stanislavski tradition, I could apply that. I didn't have to suffer those hardships. I've certainly not been shipwrecked twice, and I have yet to be flogged. I have been bitten a few times, but it was an extraordinary experience for me, and it transformed me.
Fantastic. What about Paul, the Apostle of Christ, intrigued you the most? Like, other than script, because, like you said, the script was amazing. Was there a pull to play this character?
Well, I don't want to spoil the film for you, but there is an extraordinary passage at the end. The film is not just about the privations of solitary confinement or of torture. Yes, he suffers because he feels he's forgotten and that he's no longer able to care for his flock and to take the message on. He's able to get, when Luke bribes his way into the prison to bring him succor, clean clothing, what he's there principally to do is to take down Paul's life story, and that becomes the Acts of the Apostles. In between and in his private moments in solitary confinement, he is haunted by the lives of those he ruined, by the lives of those he persecuted and killed, and undergoes terrible mental anguish. But he gets to meet them, and that's an extraordinary moment.
It sounds intense. So you mentioned Luke in there, and that's played by Jim Caviezel, yes?
Yes.
He was iconic in Passion of the Christ. What was it like working with him on a Christian film?
Well, it's rather alarming to start with, because he's a genuinely good man, and I never felt that about myself. And he went through the most extraordinary privations during the filming of Passion of Christ, which to my surprise, was 2003. It's some years ago now. But it was. I was very affected by the film. I saw it, and I thought he was extraordinary in it. So it was an enormous privilege to work with Jim and to be buoyed up by his faith. It was also a privilege to work with Olivier Martinez, who I knew very little about, and I discovered to be a wonderful human being as well, and a fine, fine actor. Joanne Whalley is wonderful, and John Lynch is wonderful, but there's a moment towards the end of the film, because Olivier Martinez's character represents the disbelieving world, and Paul changes his life for him, and Luke.
Do you think both people who are familiar with the Bible and those who are unfamiliar, do you think they both enjoyed the movie?
I see every reason for the firm believer and for those who are unsure to enjoy the film. And I think it's an important moment in the world for the Christian faith to reestablish itself, to reaffirm its ideals, to reaffirm its inclusivity and its love for mankind. Not every religion is as inclusive. Let's not divide into sect, but as that of the Christian faith. The Christian faith is inclusive. And love is at the root of it, Kyle, and that is not the case in other religions necessarily.
I'm very excited about this movie. What do you hope people are going to be talking about after seeing this movie?
It's difficult for me to suppose here, but I would hope that they're very moved by the end of the film, and that their faith is re-strengthened, and for those who do not have a strong Christian faith, or who are secular or disbelievers, I would hope that they would determine to live a better life.
Fingers crossed, a little enlightened.
I think it's an important film. I can't tell you what it means to a true Christian. I don't think my faith is strong enough. But was I changed by the film? And was I changed by playing Paul? Most definitely.
That's incredible. Well, thank you very much for talking to me. This was
Pleasure.
great. I'm very appreciative, and I really hope this movie gets all the attention that it deserves.
So do I. I hope it's seen by as many people as possible. It makes a change to go to a film and for one's ideals not to be trashed. It makes a change to go and see a film where the violence is light but only serves to indicate the persecution that Christians underwent at that particular time. PG-13, I gather. I would hope that as many families as possible will go and see the film.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day.
Cheers, Kyle.
Bye. That was James Faulkner, who is playing Paul in Paul the Apostle of Christ, in theaters March 23rd.
Listen online from anywhere, anytime. FaithFM.org.